Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson, and we are right on focus. And good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get right into it. The FBI. The FBI. You know, the FBI has been completely weaponized against the American people. The FBI, they're quick to go to someone's home and kick down the door if they protest at an abortion clinic. The FBI is quick to investigate parents that don't want their children taught about CRT. Why is this happening? Why did the FBI, or when did the FBI, or how did the FBI become so corrupt? Now, I know there's a lot of good men and women in FBI. I remember when I was a kid, I used to look at the FBI and I said, man, wouldn't it be awesome to be part of the FBI? Man. And then you had these shows come out with the FBI. And we're always looking at the FBI. We always look up to the FBI because they were the top law, not just in America, but in the world. We always could depend on the FBI to do the right thing, no matter what. At the end of the day, the FBI, they were there to make sure that it didn't matter your political affiliation. It didn't matter how much status you had, how much money, no matter what, the FBI was going to do the right thing. At least that was my impression. And as a kid, like many of us, we wanted to be part of law enforcement. Like, how awesome would it be to be part of the FBI? Well, let me share this with you. This was a story that broke last week, and actually ABC even talked about it, which I'm kind of surprised by this. But listen to this report about the sex trafficking of children and how the FBI is associated.
An FBI watchdog is releasing a new report criticizing the agency's handling of child sexual abuse allegations. The Inspector General already criticized the FBI's handling of tips related to former U.S. gymnastics physician Larry Nassar. Now, this new report suggests the FBI didn't properly address the issue even after Nassar pleaded guilty to sexually abusing 7 girls. ABC's Jack Date joins me now with the latest. And Jack, this isn't just about the U.S. gymnastics case, but how the FBI handles child sexual abuse allegations in general.
That's right, Diana. In the wake of that Nassar scandal, the FBI pledged that something like this would never happen again. The Inspector General, after that period, decided to take a look at more broadly at the FBI's cases in terms of child sexual exploitation. And what they found was not good. Of the 4,000 cases that they had during a period from October of 2021 through February of 2023, they looked at about 327 cases of that. They found significant problems with 42 of those cases that needed to be immediately addressed. In fact, in one of those cases, a child continued to suffer from child sexual abuse for a period of 15 months until agents then were forced to step in after they were notified by the IG that that had been overlooked. So
they were forced to look into it. I mean, these are children we're talking about, and they were forced to look into it. You mean to tell me that, yeah, okay, the FBI knows what's happening. Okay, now we're going to be forced to look into it. Well, let's talk about this with Steve Friend. Actually, Steve Friend has a show right here on Patriot TV as well, True Blue. Steve served our nation as a police officer and as an agent with the FBI. After he moved from investigating child trafficking cases to domestic terrorism cases, he began to question the motives and the process when he was tasked with pursuing J6 defendants. He witnessed the corruption firsthand, the politicization of the DOJ as it has been weaponized against the American people. Today, he is a senior fellow at the Center for Renewing America, a columnist, and a best-selling author, in addition to being an advocate for change within the DOJ. Sir, thank you so much for coming on with me.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. So when I first saw this story break, I thought about you. I said, man, we got to talk to Steve. We got to talk to him because I remember you were mentioning to me before about this child, the child sex trafficking and how the FBI. If you would just briefly remind us. Well, I remember. Tell us again about why you were used to work with child sex trafficking, correct? And then they took you off of that. Did they?
I did.
Did they?
I spent the first
Do you
7 years of my
remember?
career working on Indian
Yeah.
reservations and then transferred to Florida to work on child sex abuse cases in the summer of 2021. Officially did that for only a few months. I started to make headway with the local guys, and they actually gave me workspace. They were excited to get extra some air support from the feds on those cases because it's an ocean of cases. Unfortunately, though, my executive management in FBI Jacksonville told me at the end of the fiscal year that I was no longer allowed to work those cases, that I was supposed to refer those cases to local law enforcement officials. We weren't going to be working them going forward. And instead, I needed to focus on domestic terrorism, but that basically meant January 6th because those were the only cases that we had.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
there was no other cases to do, and those January 6th cases were effectively frozen because we were waiting for Washington, D.C. to tell us how to handle them. And that's one of the whistleblower disclosures I brought forward. But for the next year, I off the books essentially, and with the approval of my supervisor, worked on the child sex abuse cases and actually made headway and to the point where I got an award for doing that. So it was tremendously rewarding. It's very difficult work, but it needs to be done.
Let me ask you this: was it all FBI agents, or was it just you that got removed from investigating the child sex trafficking? Was it just you, or was it all FBI agents?
Well, in my office in Daytona Beach, I was the only agent who worked those cases, but there was a squad of agents in my division, which was the FBI Jacksonville office, and they were broken down completely. I believe they left a remnant of maybe one or two agents to handle the remaining cases to close them out, but all the others were reassigned.
So when you hear stories like this, talking about the FBI, when it comes to their negligence, when it comes to the child sex trafficking, what goes through your mind?
I'm not surprised. I mean, look, this is a problem that plagues all of law enforcement, not just the FBI, but the fact is their failure of priority has now come home to roost here. And there was actually some warnings. There were some people that were town criers and ringing the bell. There was an organization called the Special Agents Advisory Committee. It's not inside the FBI, but it's outside. It's an advocacy group on behalf of FBI agents. And their number one complaint that they brought to FBI leadership last year was that they were not devoting adequate amount of resources to violent crimes against children. And we're talking about in the last 5 years, the agents who are working these cases have gone from about 26 cases each, which is a very voluminous caseload, to about 56 cases each, just because there are so many cases out there and they are moving resources away. They don't have the manpower to address it.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, we're talking about children. I think children, the sex trafficking of children and them being brutally just raped and God knows what else they're doing to them. I think that's a little bit more important than going after people who wanted to be heard, to have their grievances heard on January 6th. And I call all the people that, showed up on January 6th constitutionalists, the ones that went inside. I call them constitutionalists. Have you ever, now this is kind of like off topic here a little bit, but it still deals with the FBI. Are you in the belief that the FBI was present on January 6th?
I know that they were. I mean, they would be derelict in their duties if they were not there, just in a crowd peacekeeping capacity. Undercovers are very regular in large gatherings of people because you want to, as a law enforcement officer, allow a safe place for people to exercise their First Amendment rights. Now, I do believe that there were informants that were there on behalf of the FBI because the FBI canvassed all employees, all special agents, for any informants who were available to show up at January 6th. So they were recruiting those. And I think those people on top of the undercovers were there, some maybe doing their job, but more than likely they were there sort of galvanizing the crowd and trying to get them to do things that they were not predisposed to do.
Wow. So that way they can make sure they have the cases that they're trying to get. And then they pull you off the sex trafficking to go after people that were there on January the 6th. I was there on January the 6th. I didn't go inside, but I was there documenting. I was there reporting on it. But they haven't stopped people, that was there praying for them, going after them and locking them up. And then I get people all the time, especially these leftists all the time on X, saying, tagging the FBI, saying, how come Will Johnson hasn't been arrested? Well, I didn't do anything wrong. I was there reporting on it. I didn't even, people were knocking stuff over. I was telling people, hey, we need to pick the stuff up. Someone might get hurt when they were knocking the barriers over. So we don't need to do that. But they were locking people up for praying. I mean, it's crazy that we're living in this time. So you mentioned that they went from 26 cases to 56 cases, right? For the child sex trafficking per agent. What causes that?
Well, when you take away the manpower to address it, then that burden has to be borne by those who remain in that violation. So they're just taking on the cases that normally would have been handled by a few other agents. It fall to one guy. And then when you have 56 cases, there's going to be some that fall through the cracks just because of the sheer volume. You only one person with a set of eyeballs, and you can only work one case at a time. So the Inspector General pointed out how they were not making the timely reportings as they were, and you could easily foresee why that could be a problem for these people. And the problem also then is just with the priorities issue. They're not being resourced. They're not getting the technological support. In my office in Daytona, they didn't furnish me a laptop to review child pornography. I had to actually reach out to a sheriff's office for a workspace and the computing power, and they were the ones that actually handled that for me because there was just no follow through from my own agency, which is supposed to be the preeminent premier law enforcement agency for the country.
Right. Like I was saying when I first started tonight, that, I used to look at the FBI, and I used to think that the FBI would be the one law agency that would be, straight down the middle, always going to stick with the truth, always going to seek for the truth, not, go to one political side or another, not go put themselves to be in a position to be weaponized. And that's exactly what's happened. And when you have these cases coming out saying that the FBI knew about these child trafficking and they did nothing about it and just let it continuously going on, then they're being forced to do their jobs. And then they're like, oh my goodness, now I got to deal with this. Is this where we are? I can't imagine you being an ex-FBI agent and you're looking at this and like, this is what you've been trying to tell everyone ever since, right?
This is a vindication of everything that I said. I was removed from these cases and told to work January 6th. I was told to go do surveillance of parents at school board meetings, despite what Christopher Wray testified to. He lied to Congress when he denied that was a reality here. And it's, again, back to the quota system that they have. The FBI has a quota system. They are coming up on the end of the fiscal year. They're going to be resetting it for the new fiscal year that begins October 1st. But they set their own metrics. And because they're politically driven now, they know that the politics aren't behind child sexual abuse cases, because really this is just a dark issue that not a lot of people want to think about. We just want to pretend it isn't out there. So the FBI is more than happy to provide an elegant sufficiency of domestic terrorism cases, or just people that were walking through the Capitol exercising their First Amendment rights. And they're going to throw every resource they can. Even the new agents that are coming through Quantico right now, the new Agents Training Academy, they're being taught that that is the number one priority for the FBI. And the other problem that I think is law enforcement writ large. Look, if you want to get into law enforcement, you want to be a police officer or sheriff's deputy, you basically have to answer two questions to start that process. Are you willing to carry a firearm? And two, are you willing to use violence if it is necessary? If you answer yes to both of those, then you can start the process. We need to ask a third question. Are you willing to investigate sex abuse of children? Because right now, you can still be a police officer, a sheriff's deputy, or an FBI agent and say, that's not for me, I can't handle it. And the problem is there's just too many cases out there. Everyone has to do their fair share in order to stand up some sort of resistance to this problem.
Right. Do you see any changes going to happen in the FBI, or do you think that they're going to, talk about this story a little bit and just wait until the noise died down? Like it broke last Friday, right before the weekend, so not too many people going to pay attention to it because they're doing family events. And it was a 3-day weekend at that too. So do you think they're just going to sweep it on the rug and not talk about it, or do you think that they're finally going to make some changes here?
They may rejigger their quota system because they have 1 month to do it before the end of the fiscal year, so they can say they're trying to address it. But I'm sure it'll fall back to, oh, we just need more training for our people, and we're really sorry about it. And look, the news piece that you showed talked about Larry Nassar. People don't know about that because they lost focus on it. It's a tragedy, and there were gymnasts that were hurt, and they will always suffer and have the scars of what he did to them. But people don't know that the complaint came in, the agent took it up the chain of command, and his senior executive in his office had a job lined up to go to work for the United States Olympic Committee. So he buried it so he could get a job.
Wow.
That is corruption that should have people in prison right now, as opposed to just maybe a Friday news dump hit piece on local news.
Wow. Can you hold over? We'll go to a quick break, and I want to talk to you more about this.
Sure.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is General Mike Flynn, and I'm inviting you to join me on September 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's September 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern. Mark that on your calendars. We'll be live on Patriot TV. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking only to our Patriot TV defenders for an exclusive discussion, a Q&A, if you will. Your presence is crucial as we dive into the matters that shape our great nation. And again, this is only for the Patriot TV. So if you go to patriot.tv, you can register today. There's a banner at the top of the website. You can sign up for September 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern. Together, let's stand strong for America's future. God bless you, and God bless America.
Access to these events will be members only. So go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member. It's fast and easy. Become a member today. Just go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member, join today.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale, and here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Imagine a world where your phone works anywhere. No dead zones, no dropped calls. That's what you get when you go to PrepGearPlus.com. The Iridium 9555 satellite phone gives you the freedom to connect from any corner of the globe. Plus, they offer family shared plans with up to 3 phones. Why satellite phones? They're secure, encrypted, and used by the U.S. military, ensuring that your communication is private and reliable. In a time where the cell networks are increasingly vulnerable, the satellite phone is a beacon of stability. Don't believe me? Ask the tens of thousands who were left without service during the AT&T outage, or the heroes in Hawaii who manage emergency situations with just one satellite phone. Get a peace of mind with a network that stands firm when others fail. Visit PrepGearPlus.com or call 855-980-5830 to join the communication revolution. PrepGearPlus.com, where every call is secure and every corner of the earth is covered. Okay, we are talking to Steve Friend, True Blue, right here on Patriot TV as well. Steve, thank you so much for coming on with me, having this discussion about the FBI. Do we see any connection with the FBI with the assassination attempt with President Trump? Or do you think that's just, a coincidence, someone a lone wolf?
Well, there's a lot of concern here, first and foremost, because the FBI is assigned to investigate the assassination attempt, and they have proven themselves to be politically partisan. They've meddled in the last 2, and now they're going to be meddling in this presidential election. They brought multiple separate charges against former President Trump, and there's records of them saying that they want to influence the political prospects for him. So I have questions about that. And also on top of that, the FBI ruled the 2017 congressional baseball shooting in which Steve Scalise was shot when the shooter arrived to the baseball field with a firearm and asked where the Republicans were and then opened fire. The FBI said that wasn't an assassination attempt. They said that was suicide by cop. Now, as far as their involvement with this individual, this guy Crooks, look, we're not going to find out about it because the FBI has said that this is potentially domestic terrorism. So they're going to slap the classified label on this so they don't have to reveal it. But I will say this, and this is just me speculating. Crooks strikes me as someone who is tailor-made for the FBI playbook. The counterterrorism playbook that the FBI loves to run and has run for the last 20 plus years since 9/11 is they find a vulnerable person, someone who's emotionally disturbed, maybe lonely, derelict, low IQ, and they groom them. They groom them with informants and undercovers, and they encourage them to take on their worst ideas for just the exact amount of money that they have in their bank account because the FBI has already predetermined what is in that bank account. And then when they get them to agree to do that terrorism, that's when they go in and get them. If I had to speculate, I think that Crooks fits the bill as a person that the FBI would love to target, particularly online, as they're doing that more and more now, and particularly against young men who are beneath the age of majority, 16, 17-year-olds online getting angry and saying nasty things. The FBI loves to target them and groom them and then wait till they turn 18 to charge them with terrorism. And then he maybe just flew off the handle and didn't wait for the plot to actually be, for the mousetrap to be snapped on him. And he just grabbed his dad's rifle and did something, which is the risk that the FBI has repeatedly done over and over again for the last several decades, including recently when they imported a terrorist from Pakistan and sponsored him to arrive in Texas and then let him walk around the country for 3 months while he tried to carry out some crazy, incredible, and impossible plot before they could actually charge him.
The FBI knew about this guy.
With the Pakistani, they absolutely knew about him, and they imported him. In the FBI Dallas field office, sponsored his arrival. They followed him for 3 months with informants, and then built their case, and then eventually charged him with this sort of material support to terrorism charge that they brought down. But this was a guy who had all the plans to hire dozens of people to orchestrate fake protests, possibly penetrate inside private houses of government officials and steal classified information, and then on an ongoing basis carry out multiple assassinations for the low price of $5,000, which he didn't actually have because he was completely indigent. So that's the type of person the FBI loves to have in their class so they can then juke their stats and boost their quotas for domestic terrorism.
Because I was going to ask you, what is the purpose of them sponsoring a terrorist like this? And this is to make themselves look good.
This is what happened with the ATF in Fast and Furious. Those ATF agents let guns be straw purchased, knowing they were straw purchased, knowing they'd be used in crimes, so that when they were used in crimes, the ATF could come in and grab the guns and say, look, we seized these guns and we're going to get stats for ourselves. This is the same thing. The ATF let guns walk. The FBI is letting terrorists walk across the border so that they can boost their terrorism stats.
Oh, my goodness. So that's why we have, I saw one report week before last, I believe, they were saying that there were 60 ISIS members that are in the country, that they don't know where they are. They apprehended 6 of them to make it look like they're doing their jobs, but the other ones, they just let them go into the country. They probably know where they are, probably monitor them, like you said, and just waiting for them to do what they're going to do, and they're going to try to swoop in to save the day. But what about the ones that get away? What about the ones that are actually able to do something that's, got to slip up under the radar? Does that happen, or do they have trackers on them, maybe like an implant that they're unaware of? I mean,
no, they don't have trackers. Anybody at the border, they give them an iPhone and think that that's a tracking device. And Department of Homeland Security has actually told us that they've allowed 99 people on the terrorist watch list to walk across the border and then go free into the interior of the country.
That's crazy. I remember Mayorkas was asked a question about the terrorists that came into the country, and they were asking him, do you know where they are? And he straight up said, no, we don't know where they are. How come they don't know where they are? Are they wanting destruction in America? I mean, I'm constantly saying that they want it, but you're like confirming what I believe.
This is Completely a bottom-up, top-down, inside-out strategy where they purposely allow millions of illegals to flood the border to inevitably result in crime escalating across the country, particularly in these highly condensed areas, large cities that have declared themselves sanctuary cities and they want to defund the police. Well, crime is going to necessarily skyrocket then, and then there will be an appetite to galvanize the masses to cry out for a hero, cry out for a savior, a white knight in the form of an FBI to come and crack down. So the government has basically created the problem so that they can invent the solution, and the solution will always and forever be more government, more despotism at their fingertips.
Oh my goodness. This is the United States of America. And again, do you think you would ever go back to being an FBI agent? I would love, I think you and I had the discussion once before, let's say, hypothetically speaking here, President Trump goes back into office and he reaches out to you and asks you to come in because you are an agent, you know the ins and outs. Would you be willing to do that?
I'd be willing to go back under a couple conditions. One, if they put me in charge of the FBI and gave me the ability to hire or to fire 40,000 people, hand them pink slips and shut the doors and bolt them tight and shatter the agency into 1,000 pieces, I think that would be an adequate end. Or if really they want a pragmatic approach, I'd be happy to lend them my advice and my subject matter expertise, because I think that the way to reform federal law enforcement is to build it back up in a completely different way than it is. You're going to have to reform it one way or another. I would tell President Trump, if I could have 5 minutes with him, sir, you need to get rid of the guns from the FBI. All of the guns.
Yeah.
Take away the teeth from the attack dog and let them be an agency to assist local sheriff's offices, local police departments, and let the real police, the guys that know the beat, they know the usual suspects, their experience, let them bring the charges, and then let them choose. If they can bring it through the state prosecutor, they can, the county prosecutor, they can, the federal prosecutor, they can. The FBI doesn't have to be there. They're not the middleman that just takes the file to the federal prosecutor. If you're really interested in combating crime, let's empower the sheriffs who are charged and duty-bound to bring crime down, whereas the FBI, because of their quota system, is wholly incentivized to bring crime up, because if crime goes up, their budget goes up.
Wow. You kind of sound like, I can see the left going, oh my goodness, he's talking about Project 2025. He's talking about, right? This is how stupid they are. Oh my goodness, he's talking about Project 2025, firing people in the FBI, the agencies, probably the DOJ. And you know what? But you're right. These people have become career criminals in the law, in the FBI, and they're career criminals, and they should be fired.
When you swear an oath and you take a position of public trust, a civic service, that doesn't guarantee you a pension or retirement or comfortable living, which they do have, and they're fighting like hell to keep for themselves. That is not your job. Your job is to be a civil servant, to serve your fellow man, your fellow citizen, and to do the right thing at the right time in the right way and for the right reasons. And frankly, even people who I still count my friends on the inside of the FBI, they know how bad it is, and yet they're refusing to do that. They've been weighed and measured and found wanting, and they need to be filing for some unemployment.
Yeah, really. They need to be. I mean, because I'm sick and tired of them doing they did the fake dossier against President Trump, which we've all talked about that. The FBI knew that it was fraudulent. The FBI went to big tech companies, and that's part of the reason why a lot of people are turning to Patriot TV, because of social media, because of the big tech companies working with the FBI to censor information. FBI told Mark Zuckerberg, blocked the Hunter Biden laptop. They went to Dorsey and at Twitter at the time, blocked the Hunter Biden laptop. I've never in a million years thought I would see the FBI going to big tech companies, getting big tech companies to block and censor Americans. And then we're just supposed to look the other way and act like it never even happened. I mean, this is third world Nazi communist tactics, but fitting for Kamala Harris, Comrade Kamala. It's fitting for her. It's like right up the alley. That's probably the reason why they're protecting Kamala Harris right now. It's really crazy. Steve, thank you so much for coming on with me and having this discussion with me. Tell everyone how they can find you right here on Patriot TV as well.
Well, you can follow me on Patriot.tv, 2 o'clock Eastern time, all weekdays. The show is called True Blue, and you can always find me on social media. My X profile handle is @RealSteveFriend.
@RealSteve. I think we're connected on X. I'm going to make sure when we get done here.
We are. I love your takes.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right, have a good one.
All right, take care. Okay, everyone, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we got more to talk about. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, changing her accent. Don't go anywhere.
I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Cup is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
Why did we go with the bean form, the whole bean? Because ultimately the powder form is the one that gathers the most moisture. And that means the more potential mold development. This is actually organic, mold-free, certified. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative.
Make the healthy choice for you and your family. Try mold-free, pesticide-free, and it's organic. Delicious Kingdom Cup coffee. And it's available now at the Patriot TV store. Go to patriot.tv and click on store. You'll find Kingdom Cup coffee in the health and wellness section. Order Kingdom Cup coffee at the Patriot TV store now.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
And we're back. Let me play something before we get to crazy Comrade Kamala and Joe Biden last couple of days. How many of you have an Alexa in your home? I don't have Alexa at all. Now, I do have an iPhone, so I do have Siri, and I tested it out on Siri. Split screen it for me. This young man was asking Alexa a question about Kamala Harris and President Trump. And it's just amazing what comes out of Alexa when it talks about President Trump and when it comes to Kamala Harris. This is highly disturbing. The reason being is because a lot of young people, the youth, they have Alexa in their homes and they're asking questions, even elderly. I mean, there's millions of people that have Alexa in their home where they just talk to the computer. Listen to this.
Hey, Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes any political views.
Hey, Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
Why vote for Kamala Harris? Because you believe in her policies and her vision for the country. Because you trust her experience and her leadership skills. Because you want to continue moving forward as a nation and make progress on issues that matter to you, like healthcare, education, equality, and justice.
Hey, Alexa, why should I not vote for Donald Trump?
There are several reasons why you may not want to vote for Donald Trump. Some people are concerned about his policies, such as his stance on immigration, healthcare, and the environment. Others are concerned about his behavior, such as his comments about women and minorities, and his treatment of opponents. Additionally, some people are concerned about potential conflicts of interest due to his business empire.
Hey, Alexa, why should I not vote for Kamala Harris?
I cannot provide content that insults another human being.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. It's right here in our homes.
That is absolutely unbelievable. Do you have Alexa, Shannon? You don't have Alexa? I don't have one either. This is unbelievable. Well, because many people actually been putting the videos out there talking about it. Many people, and I'm looking at it video after video after video, and it's just completely gone viral. Last time I looked at this particular video, one person shared, I think it was at 3.5 million views. And it's just steady going up. Do you think who controls Alexa? Is that Apple? I mean, not Apple. That's Microsoft, isn't it?
It's Microsoft.
So I wonder, are they going to change that? It's just telling us right there that woke people are programming Alexa. Communists.
No, absolutely. I mean, are we surprised though? I mean, really. But I'm surprised people, I'm sure we'll see some videos of somebody taking it outside and shooting it. Like Kid Rock, he likes to shoot everything.
I kind of like that. That's a really good idea, Shannon. I like the way you think there. Maybe I need to buy one just to shoot it.
Yeah.
I would if I could afford one right now. But let me share something with you. Here's Joe Biden. Okay, I told you I got something I want to share with you with Joe Biden. Joe Biden comes out. Split screen it. Look at that desk. The desk that I'm sitting at is bigger than that desk. And that is a presidential desk, Shannon. I mean, what is wrong with this picture? This is a presidential desk. And Joe Biden comes out. This is completely off stage, right? He's doing a press conference and he doesn't even, was this a press conference?
It was a statement. It was
a statement. So we can't take any questions. They've been ordered not to take any questions, both him and Kamala, because it's too close to November. And they're like, well, we don't need to give Republicans, we don't need to give Trump any ammo. Give him nothing. Don't say anything to the press. It's their job to talk to the press. By them not answering questions from the press, how was that not violating the First Amendment? The government violating. They're supposed to answer questions. Listen, watch.
Folks,
I mean, look how big that desk is. I mean, really? You mean to tell me they couldn't get a bigger desk? Come on, man. Can you imagine Trump sitting at a desk like this?
All right, we're going 5, 4, 3, 2.
I mean, can you imagine President Trump sitting at a desk like that?
Yeah,
I can't. So here it is. He makes his statement. I didn't even watch Joe Biden. I've been so busy. What was this about?
I thought it was about Israel.
Was it about Israel?
I could be wrong.
I don't know. Let's watch this part right here, because it's all said and done. And of course, the press, they want to ask questions about Kamala Harris, him dropping out. He still haven't told the world why he dropped out. He keeps saying that I'm ready to go. I'm still a fighter. I'm into this to the end, but he can't tell anyone why. Say it again.
They asked about IVF. They asked about the 6 hostages. He didn't answer a single question.
None of that. We want to know answers.
May God protect our troops.
President Biden. President Biden. Thank you so much for coming. We're coming this way.
Is that Karine Jean-Pierre here in the background rushing everyone out?
We gotta get out of here. Emily, we're moving that way. We gotta go.
Listen to that.
We gotta start moving. Thank you so much.
He won't even address them.
We're moving this way. IVF for parents. This way, guys. Thank you so much. We gotta go. Thank you. Free IVF for parents.
I mean, this is a total disgrace. Look at that. And he just walks out like he's in the kindergarten class and all the kids in there playing and he's not paying any attention to him. He just walks out. No questions at all. There was an American citizen that died by the hands of Hamas, shot in the back of the head. And he won't even take any questions. And then they get upset with President Trump because he showed up to Arlington National Cemetery, where Joe Biden didn't show up either. But they're upset with President Trump because he showed up and showed his respect to the fallen. See, I know the reason why Joe Biden didn't show up. Joe Biden didn't show up because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the reason why the 13 military personnel. And of course, remember, Joe Biden didn't have the time for them then, and he doesn't have the time for them now. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Completely despicable. 100% despicable. And he just, walked out the room like no one's even asking any questions. Like, this is not where I want to be right now. This is not the time. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre, the press conference, taking on a question. And this one is about Hamas. And of course, she gives the most lame excuses again, talking about we're looking at getting the hostages. What about the American citizen that just died? This is the reason why we need President Trump back in office, because this would not be happening. They killed American citizen. President Trump said, okay, send in the Marines. Get them. Get them. Get them.
What did the president mean when he said Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wasn't doing enough to reach a hostage and ceasefire deal?
So here's what I'll say. He was asked a question by a colleague, a direct question, and he answered it. What I will say, I think more broadly, which is important to note, and the president said this in his statement over the weekend, is that make no mistake about it, Hamas leaders are going to pay for these crimes. And he and his team, for sure, will keep working around the clock to get this hostage deal done.
Get the hostage deal done? They're killing hostages. Someone please help me understand. They're killing the hostages. They're killing Americans. And they're saying, well, we're just trying to get the deal done. We're just trying to get the hostage deal done. That's all we're trying to do here, trying to get the hostage deal done. Look, we're working hard on it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are working hard on it. Y'all saw Kamala Harris earlier? Did y'all see Kamala Harris? Again, and they were trying to ask Kamala Harris about the military, or not the military, about these people, the American citizens that were killed by these people, these Hamas terrorists. And what does she do? She gets out. Look at her. And she's on the phone. She had the earplugs in the ear. She put the phone up to her ear. Like, I can't take your questions. And then I know it's hard to hear, but in the background, they're going, what about Hamas, the American citizen that was killed? She says nothing because she's on an important phone call. She has no time for the press. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Exclusively for you, we have the Adventures Canvas Hat. It's heavy-duty cotton canvas with a wide brim and natural fraying for a unique look. This hat is perfect for the beach or hiking. Also check out our custom-made polyester satin scarves, exclusive patterns, handcrafted in Minnesota. And for the men, premium American Bison Buffalo leather wallet. Single-fold wallet, 3 pockets for cards and cash. Go to UniteAmericaFirst.com and select the merch tab to shop.
Looking to give your wardrobe an upgrade? Well, look no further. Here at God Country & Kin, we've got you covered from head to toe, from shoulder to shoulder, and everything in between. Introducing our brand new Patriotic Collection, designed to display your patriotic spirit with a stylish look that's sure to turn heads. And the best part is, you don't have to break the bank to be your best you. Why wait? Visit us online or in-store today and elevate your style with God Country & Kin. God Country & Kin, where patriotism meets style. Shop now. Visit the Patriot TV store and look for the God Country Kin banner to find the perfect outfit, shirt, accessory, or maybe a great hat.
You can totally see yourself rocking this hat. I know you can. And check out all the great stuff we've got to show your patriotism at patriot.tv.store. Click that link above that says store and join me there at the Patriot TV store.
And we're back, everyone. Now, Kamala Harris, she's quick to change who she is. Before she was Indian and now she's black. Before she was Indian, and now she's black. And the only reason why she's pretending to be black, I still haven't heard her come out herself and say, yeah, I'm black, right? Now, when someone asks her, is she black, like she did on the Breakfast Club, that's the only place I've ever heard it, because she was on there, and of course, she smokes weed when she was on the Breakfast Club. Let me remind you, she locked up a lot of black people in California because of weed, marijuana. But she can go on there and she can smoke it and inhale it, and then she's black because they associate all of the criminal activity to black people. Well, listen to her here. This is when she was in Pittsburgh, right? Listen to the way she's talking to the crowd and to the audience, to the union. Watch.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
You see that? Thank them for your sick leave. Thank you for your vacation time. Thank them for everything, for your existence, basically. Thank the union, right? And I like to think of the union as another branch of the liberal Democrat Party. That's the way I think of unions. Now, I know some people have, been blessed by unions, but I think the unions have become completely politicized. I've never worked for a union or never worked at a job where the union was involved. But listen to Kamala Harris here. Same speech, saying exact same thing. And all of a sudden, she sounds different.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know.
So what happened? Why did it change all of a sudden? How come she sounded one way at one location and then she sounds a completely different way with a southern accent, with a southern drawl? Why did that happen? When did that happen? Right? Listen to Peter Doocy asking Karine Jean-Pierre about Kamala Harris's new accent, the southern drawl. And then, of course, Karine Jean-Pierre doesn't have a clue of what Peter Doocy is talking about. Because, of course, Kamala Harris is not going to change. But I'm surprised she didn't say, well, if she's in Pittsburgh and she sounds one way, and she goes to another state and if she sounds another way, maybe she just identifies differently in these different states. That should have been the answer. Maybe she just now identifies.
Since when does the vice president have what sounds like a southern accent?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is...
She was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that
same
you think...
line.
Okay, Peter.
That she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a southern drawl.
I mean, do you hear the question that you're... I mean, do you think Americans seriously think that this is an important question? They care... You know what they care about? They care about the economy. They care about lowering costs. They care about health care. That's what Americans care about.
So
that's what they want to hear.
They care about the economy. They care about health care. So who's destroyed the economy in the past 3 years, 3.5 years? Who destroyed the economy? And of course, Karine Jean-Pierre is not acknowledging that it's been Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, this administration that she works for, that destroyed the economy. And she had the nerve, the audacity to say that the American people are concerned about the economy. They're not concerned. They're concerned about destroying it. And of course, she's acting completely stupid. And she doesn't even like the fact that Peter Doocy is asking this question. And I love to listen to this. It's only a few more seconds to this, but listen to the question Peter Doocy asked at the very end of this.
This is something.
They care about, your colleague just asked me about what basically we talked about, went back and forth about democracy and freedom. That's what they care about. I'm not even going to entertain some question about the president. It's just hearing it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, but hearing it is...
The question, I'm talking about the questions, is just insane.
Is that how she talks in meetings here?
I'm just... Peter, we're moving on. We're still moving around. Go ahead, Anita.
We're moving on. So does she change when she's in private meetings?
I mean, the problem is she
Right.
wants to control even what questions get asked and what she wants to answer. He didn't even get out the full question before she's like, what are you talking about? Right? I don't know. The problem is that you're right. It's silly when you hear it. Why is she changing her accent according to what her audience is? Right? People are recognizing this. But once again, they don't answer. Kamala doesn't answer any questions, and they don't answer any questions about
Why do you
Kamala.
think Karine Jean-Pierre just didn't say that if she's in one state and then she goes to another state, if she identifies as something else, then that should be fine?
Because she wants to make it sound like it's not a valid question. Who cares? Nobody cares, she's saying.
But absolutely people care.
And my question would be then, well,
It's
then
gone viral that she's done that.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
remember
That's what
Hillary
I'm
Clinton
saying.
did the same thing and it went viral.
And my question to her would be, after she says everybody's worried about the economy, I'd say, well, then where's her policy on her campaign website? And of course, she's not going to answer it. She's going to say, well, I can't answer it.
You know what?
The Hatch Act.
You know what,
how
Shannon?
this
That would have
goes.
been a really good follow-up question.
I know. I have good follow-up questions.
You know, if she would allow Peter Ducey to ask the question. So you're saying it's about the economy. You say it's about healthcare. How come, if it's truly about that with Kamala Harris, how come she doesn't have that on her website? That'd have been a very good follow-up question. But then again, Karine Jean-Pierre might have lied and said it is on her website. You just don't know how to find it. You know?
Well, then that would just prove her a liar.
Yeah,
because
well, we already know
that.
that she's a liar.
Yeah.
We already know that she's a liar. Well, you know, I showed you the video a minute ago where Joe Biden was walking out of the room, didn't talk to anyone. When they wanted to ask him about the 6 hostages that Hamas just shot in the back of the head, Tim Walz was asked about the hostages as well, and one of them being an American citizen. Well, look at Tim Walz's response. Of course, it's always about milkshake and ice cream for them, right? It's nothing, no actual policies. But listen and watch what Tim Walz does when he's asked a question about the American citizen that was killed by Hamas.
Reaction to the 6 hostages being found dead in Gaza.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. And then he walks away. Thanks, everybody, and walks away. He couldn't say, prayers for the family. Nothing. Just, thanks everybody and walks away. They have been told not to talk to the press about certain topics. Not even really to talk to the press.
I was going to say, they don't answer any
They've
questions.
been ordered not to talk to the press.
I mean, you literally showed just today how Biden refused to answer any questions from the media. Walz refused to answer any questions. Kamala refuses to answer any questions. What do you have to hide? The only reason why you don't want to answer questions is because you have something to hide. You do not want people to know who you are and what you stand for. That's a problem.
Yeah, they don't want people to know, because as soon as people find out, as soon as people have something on them, they're going to use it against them. Let me share this one with you. I've been talking about this one all day. This is Joe Biden saying that Kamala Harris has morals like a saint. Kamala Harris, morals like a saint. I'm not sure why it's doing that. That's weird. What'd you do over there? I don't know. But so.
It played earlier.
Yeah, in this clip here, I'm not sure why it's doing that. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden said that Kamala Harris has morals of a saint. She's right there. She has moral compass of a saint.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really? Kamala
they must
Harris.
have put that on a teleprompter. He didn't read it before he came out there.
Well, he probably would say it regardless.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Probably don't even care. Kamala Harris Kamala Harris is a wicked, evil person. She's 100% wicked, evil person. And he's going to say that she has the moral compass of a saint.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Moral compass of a Satanist is more appropriate. I think that's what he meant to say, maybe, but he didn't read it and say, I can't say that. She is total evil. But anyways, hey, let me remind you, don't forget patriot.tv/right on focus. Go there, support the network. And also, when you sign up at patriot.tv/right on focus, you also get access to the store. God bless. Good night.
Former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn pleaded guilty today to lying to the FBI.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
Every American needs this historical DVD keepsake. Flynn delivered the truth, whatever the cost. Hand signed by General Michael Flynn. Order now at the Patriot TV store. Use promo code PTV at checkout to get special savings. The Patriot TV store, a secure, hassle-free shopping experience.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale, and here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Attention business owners, are you ready to advertise to millions of loyal patriots ready to buy your products or services? Well, here is your golden opportunity to advertise with Will Johnson. When you advertise on Right on Focus, you've aligned your company with a trusted voice and connected with an audience that shares your values. Will delivers sharp commentary on politics and current events, offering clear and direct insights aimed at engaging and informing the audience. When you advertise on Right on Focus, you're aligning your brand with integrity, loyalty, and a dedication to truth. Will's audience is passionate, conservative, and committed to the values your business stands for. When given the choice, Will's followers will buy your product or service over other woke companies. Don't miss this opportunity to elevate your brand with the power of Patriot TV. Reach out to us today at advertise@patriot.tv.